Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the 2026 season at Kintech Talking. You've got myself, Amin. We've got my sidekick, Stuart,
Good morning.
partner in crime. And our guest today, I think we can describe him as a wannabe LinkedIn influencer, an Arsenal mega fan, an Aylesbury Homeless Action Group trustee, and my partner in crime at the Contracting Awards, where we had a lot of good fun. And also, I think an up and coming paddle player as well. So hopefully an attendee at our future paddle events. The one and only Jonny Patel. Thank you, Jonny, and
Hey,
welcome.
Jonny.
Thank you very much for having me. That's probably the nicest and most enthusiastic intro anybody has ever given me. So
You're welcome.
Let me know your home address and I'll send you something nice for that.
I think he's been practicing that, Jonny. I really do.
Yeah. I got onto him earlier. That's what it was.
Right. Not a
I've got
problem.
inspiration from the Big Brother announcer.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
I'm glad you said Big Brother and not Geordie Shore.
No, I don't think a Geordie Shore narrator was a Geordie.
No, you could be right.
Excellent.
But no, thanks for joining us. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself before we start questioning you? And maybe a bit more than what I've just said about you.
Yeah. So you touched on a lot there. So I'm Jonny Patel. I am in sales. I work for Ovio Solutions, who are a workforce management solutions company. So payroll and everything in between, from sort of financing and solutions regarding the workforce. We do it. Like you said, I am a trustee for the Aylesbury Homeless Action Group. I also have a startup podcast as well, cricket podcast. So massive sports enthusiast. That's me in a nutshell, really.
Excellent.
Amazing.
Excellent. Well, great to have you on board. So just to kick us off then, Jonny, obviously you've mentioned Ovio there.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us an introduction to Ovio and explain what you guys are doing to put you into the best position regarding JSL come April?
Yeah, definitely. So we're part of the Indigo Group. Obviously, you've had Joe on the show, who's our CEO. So we are compliance first. We are people first, and we really believe in that. And what we're doing in terms of JSL is, it's all well and good talking about compliance, but for me, it's how do you prove it? How do you prove that you're compliant? And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure people will be very quick to correct me if I am wrong, but as well as the Safe Rec accreditation, which we all know what it does and how fantastic it is, and we also have our My Ovio portal, which is, for me, is huge. We all saw the Balfour Beatty and HS2 case with misclassified workers very recently. The Ovio portal allows you as an agency and client to view what we are doing in real time. So when we're onboarding your candidates and when we are delivering registration to your candidates, you can see what's happening in real time. So if we engage them in a umbrella contract, PEO contract, CIS, self-employed, whatever it may be, you can see that 3 seconds after we click the button, you can see it in real time. And I think that's huge. So it's just another step into showing and proving we're giving you access into our systems, our databases, to see what we're doing in real time. So it just proves what we're doing, the concept of what we're trying to do. We're solving real world problems. How many times I've worked in other umbrella companies and we get calls asking, oh, where are we at with this candidate? What's going on with that candidate? And it's solving a real world problem. And we all know time, excuse the cheesy pun, but time is money. And in recruitment, I see it all the time. Recruiters don't want to be doing this element. They really don't. It's a product where we offer real value in terms of we do things compliantly. We take a stress off their mind. They don't want to be chasing on a Thursday. Andy's called me from site. He's not sure if he's registered yet. Where are we at? Literally click on a button and you're there. You see it all for yourself. It's pretty self-explanatory. I think another thing of what we're doing and what we're really good at gearing up for is Dan and our marketing team are just, they're second to none. anybody that will listen to me, I don't have enough good things to say about our team in general, but Dan is a wizard, whether it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon before a meeting to go out with a client and I'm going, I need you to make something look pretty for me.
Yeah.
Or the guides that we're putting together. So the guides for JSL in terms of we've released one today and yesterday, which is just a guide for agencies to work through it because it's overwhelming, right? Compliance is extremely overwhelming for anybody,
definitely.
Especially if you're not from that world. If you're not from that world,
What's your message to agencies? Because I am hearing this a little bit, which is worrying. What's your message to agencies who are thinking nothing's going to come off, nothing's going to actually happen in April?
do you want my politically correct answer? Or look, I just think more for you. I think more for you.
It's definitely coming.
Of course it is.
100%.
And I think the way that they've structured it is really clever. So for the uncompliant umbrellas, the mini umbrellas, directors change, offshore, it's really hard to track. But in reality, what's the one thing that remains? The one thing that
agencies
remains
in the UK.
It's a fixed location in the UK.
Yeah.
And so where they've put the liability back onto the agency, they wouldn't do it if there wasn't a reason and a need. So now it's an easier pathway to recouping those monies that they haven't had in the past. I've heard weird and wonderful ones, right? Like anything, right? You build up trust with your agency partners and your supply chain. And the other day I had a call with somebody and I went, could we talk about JSL? And they went, oh, we're with one of the big umbrellas, we're fine. And I just turned around and I went, okay. I said, is that all you've done to check that you're? And they went, yeah. And I was like, so you don't know anything about their balance sheet. You don't know, if one of the agencies were to go bust, what does that look like for you? Yes, they're a big umbrella company. Do you know what their balance sheet looks like? Do you know what their compliance steps are? And I just think if it was my business, my livelihood and my reputation, I am not going off the basis of, I've partnered with the biggest umbrella in the industry. Not to say that they're not doing things correctly. I'm just saying that is not a valid due diligence in this.
And that due diligence has got to be your own.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's a house of cards, really, isn't it? If one card falls, I think the whole thing comes collapsing down if you're not prepared. And I think one of the things that people are forgetting is that they need to know what their umbrella's doing, not just with them, because it's if there's a big umbrella and they work with big agencies, all it takes is for that one of their big agencies not to do something right. Because this isn't just about the umbrella doing it right; it's about the whole chain. If for example they're giving credit plans and credits to a big agency disappears, they then can't pay their own liabilities, so they might then have to liquidate. Then that liability then will fall down the chain to the next agency.
And I think for me, that's where I stand on it, exactly like yourself, right? Like what you guys have just hit it before the call and nail on the head that the credit terms are going through the roof and this is going on and that's going on. If that's going on, are you as an agency partner checking that balance sheet? You're well within your rights to. You're well within your rights to. And it's one thing that, we're very lucky that we're part of a big group and we have a very healthy balance sheet. And it's something that we actively ask agency partners, check it, and you can check ours. We don't hide anything. We're very upfront. We're very open to sort of doing business and being transparent. And I think a lot of what happens within our industries, it's all smoke and mirrors. And again, it's how do you prove and how do you clear that? And my job it's to win business, of course, but it's also to add value. And add value by going, I understand we're not everybody's preferred partner choice, and we never will be. We never will be. But the ones that we do work with, I've had people turn me down to do work recently. This morning, I've sent them our JSL guide to go, look, just to keep you informed. I love the industry I work in, and information is power and knowledge is worth an abundance, especially at this time. And just because you don't want to work with me doesn't mean that I don't want you to be best prepared for what's coming. And I think that's, that might just be me and the relationships I try and build. But I think that's what's key, is that you have all the information to hand and you know what to do with it. I can send these guides out. They're only as good as the people engaging and the people that are willing to go, I'm going to eat some humble pie here and go, I don't know what this means. Can you help me? great. Yes, let's walk together on the road. Let me be your crutch. I don't know everything. The amount of times I'm sat on Joe's phone going, Joe, I need your help with this, or somebody at Indigo, I need some support with this. It's life, right? It's life, and that's what's great about this is you're starting to build some real partnerships, and I think it's never been that way. Our industry is very transactional at times, whereas actually building some real relationships and being the go-to person for your agency is fantastic.
No, I like that. Which kind of
Sounds good.
brings me to my question, really, my proper question.
Yeah.
So obviously looking at it from a sales angle, obviously what you do, Johnny, how are you actually finding it? I know we've touched on it a little bit so far, but how are you finding it as a whole? What are the main challenges that you face in your role? Because obviously I know people who'll be listening, there'll be people in your position, and it'd be good to see what an expert's doing.
Do you know what? The biggest challenge for me, and it's a two-part thing on trust. So it's building trust, and it's really hard when you've got JSL. It's, well, better the devil we know than the devil we don't know. So that's been the biggest barrier. But also the trust that over years people have built with their agencies. It's really hard to kind of break that down. And the amount of people go, oh, I've been told we're safe. And I'm sat here banging my head against my desk going, that's all you've done. You've just been told you're safe and you're good to go. So we get that all the time. But I think, look, sales is never easy. It's a difficult job. It's a slog. And I think I'm very lucky in meeting Joe and Joe's ethos on what sales looks like and what, because I've always sat there, I'll be brutally honest, and I've gone, I'll throw this back to you. When was the last time you guys had a cold call, whether it be personal, or we'll go from a personal point, so like an electricity company or your phone provider, a new phone provider? How did that make you feel?
I actually got one yesterday on the way to work.
Okay.
Car dealership inviting me to their platinum event.
Yeah. Okay.
And well, I was driving to work, so it was a bit of a nuisance.
Okay.
I needed to concentrate on the road, and I wanted to get off the phone as quickly as possible.
Yep.
Well,
yourself, Amin?
I actually go to, you've got 10 seconds to keep me interested. That's what I say to them.
Yeah, and listen, that's absolutely fine, right? And so I sit there and I had the pleasure of meeting, and I'm going to shout her out, of meeting Jodie Goodchild and going on one of her
I want to pretend I know who that is.
Pardon?
I want to pretend I know who that is.
No, she's somebody in the Portsmouth community that Joe introduced us to. She's a LinkedIn guru, and she said something that really resonated, and that was one of the questions. So for me in sales, it's not so much how many calls can I get through in a day, it's how many relationships can I build. How many it's not how many emails have I sent out, it's how many people have I connected with and truly connected with. Before I rarely cold call, and this is going to blow people's mind. I rarely cold call. I call it warm calling. So example, I saw Stuart the other day posted about coming into the office and the benefits of connecting with the team. I saw recently, you went on a holiday. Before I pick that phone call up, I'm making sure that I know something about that person. I'm making sure, more so, that the biggest misconception in sales is that they choose to work with us. No, we also have a choice. So I also have a look at, is this going to be the right fit? Is this, is it going to make sense? I'll go into some other bits and pieces, but through LinkedIn, I've realized if you utilize it properly, there's some real value into sort of your sales pitch and your sales technique. And also, and more importantly, people go, oh, it's becoming more like Instagram. No, it's people are building their own personal brand. And how do you get to know somebody if all we post about is work and job offers? And so there has to be an element of being a real human being, and that's how people connect. And especially in our industry, I think it's one where people do business with people. So yeah, that's long-winded.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I'm quite similar to yourself. I'm not the biggest fan of metrics, because you could make 100 calls, 100 pointless calls, and they might mean nothing.
Yeah.
Whereas I do prefer I actually prefer the LinkedIn route as well nowadays, where you sort of look at connecting, a little bit of a warm message, find a bit about them, and then you can actually ring them and say, yeah, I've just noticed this and this. I think that angle is always a lot better. And also, if they can be bothered to accept your LinkedIn request, means that they're actually potentially going to take your call. Because if not even can bother to accept your LinkedIn request, they probably aren't going to answer the call if you ring their office.
So true. So true.
Yeah, you've got to make sure that when you are reaching out to people, it's not just you have clicked on them and connect. There's got to be a reason for you to do it.
Yeah.
Your intro message, however long or short it has been, it's got to be relevant.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Otherwise, you're just going to go straight in the bin.
But there's even more so. You can go into so much more finer detail. If I post something about my JSL guide today, if a recruitment agency likes it or engages with it,
Shiver.
there's your message, right? There's your intro message. Hi, look, I saw that you engaged. Can I ask why and what about it that you're interested in? Do you want to book a call for us to have a chat?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you've taken an interest, and they've taken an interest in you. You're more than inclined to go, look, you've engaged here. What is it about my post?
Yeah.
The amount of posts about Arsenal that it's a conversation starter. I'll sit there.
That's a good thing, you know.
Nah, but the amount of people I've gone. Did you engage because you're an Arsenal fan, or have you engaged because it's something work? Because all of my posts come back in a cheesy roundabout kind of way, come back to work. So, but it starts conversation. I think somebody I'm talking to at the moment, a gentleman called Isaac Dunn. We speak every every Monday about football, about work and football, mainly football. It's mainly Arsenal. And that came from that sort of conversation, liking a post and a real conversation and a real sort of connection has built. So
that makes sense.
Yeah,
I like it.
All good. So obviously at Kintec we're big on giving back and supporting charities, etc. And obviously, Amin touched on the fact that you're a trustee of Aylesbury Homeless Action Group, which congratulations. I think that's fantastic.
Thank you.
I think it's because I think I'm right. You actually get asked to be a trustee, don't you? It's not something that you can go off and I'm just going to put that on my CV for the hell of it. So it's something you've earned. Yeah. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about that, Jonny?
Yeah. It's a really good question, and without getting too deep. So for those that know me or have had the pleasure of spending time with me, they'll know that I don't drink anymore. So I'm 3 years sober, and about sort of 3-4 years ago, I had a real sort of battle with my demons and addiction, and I was beyond help, and I ended up for a period of time homeless.
Wow.
And Aylesbury Homeless Action Group really helped me get back on my feet, and I am where I am now, and I'm truly grateful. And I helped do some volunteer work with them, and it just came to a point where they said, look, we think you can really help with the story element of it here and what we do. I think people think that homelessness is people on the street. It's such a bigger piece. It's Aylesbury Homeless Action Group actually deals more with prevention of homelessness, so rogue landlords, bad living conditions, sort of unfair eviction notices and that sort of stuff. So sort of offer some real value. And look, I love the town that I'm from. It's given me so many opportunities. It's picked me up when I was at my lowest, and when I got asked to do it, I was truly blown away, and it's been great. It's been a great way to kind of add some real value to people that were in my position. I think for me that's it's probably the biggest honor I've had in a very, very long time, of being asked to do something. I think it's probably the pinnacle of that kind of, that moment of, how far have you come? And then you sit there and you go, wow, that's huge. 4 years ago, I was utilising the service. 4 years on, I'm a trustee and doing some great work within our community.
Brilliant. Success story. Nice to hear.
Yeah.
Love that, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
So, obviously, these episodes aren't just obviously about work. We know you do a bit about you do a podcast as well called Pads and Pints.
Yes.
And it's a bit intriguing, obviously. Do you want to tell us a bit about that as well for people who are listening?
Yeah.
Obviously, from what you just told us, I'm assuming you're having pints of shandy, or I'll be disappointed.
Yeah, so pints of non-alcoholic beer or dandelion and burdock, whatever I can get my hands on. But no, so again, the power of LinkedIn. Laurie and Ivan, who are my co-hosts and co-founders, one of them posted about a cricket bat on LinkedIn, and you're in my line of work. You're somebody I want to connect with. So we got talking about it, and myself, him, and Ivan in the comments went at it. And it was just around the time that England and India were playing the Test match, and it was a fantastic Test match. And we started a LinkedIn group chat. In my mind, I was like, this might lead to some work here, and it blossomed into something so much more. And we one day sat there and we talked about everything: mental health, issues surrounding cricket, and we just sat and went, this could be podcast worthy. And I said, I think one of the boys said, the older we get, the harder it is to make friends and genuine connections. And I resonated, and I went, do you know what, boys? I'd rather just give it a go. And if it falls flat on its arse, I can go, I tried. At least I gave it a go. So from so to give it some context, there is no reason we should ever have met. Laurie lives in Sheffield. Ivan lives in Wolverhampton. I live in Aylesbury. Lo and behold, a year on, we have got plans to hit at least 15 cricket clubs this year. And what we do is we're trying to bring the revival back to village cricket. It's a game that's given all of us so much. For anybody that knows anything about me, I've played at a cricket club with my dad, my older brother, my younger brother, most of my life. We still play together to this day. Not in the same team anymore. Dad's gotten on a bit. But I get to play every Saturday with my younger brother and create some fantastic memories. And it's been something that's given so much back to me. But we see cricket clubs closing down more and more frequently. I think Freddie's documentary on it highlighted that. So we go around to cricket clubs, shed some light on what they do, what it is that makes them special, how to get in contact with them. So yeah, we've got some real plans for it to kick off, because we started it at the back end of last year. We've got some real plans for it to kick off this year.
Well, that's good. And do you know the thing is that you actually spot on. I think growing up, I've always played football. I did play cricket as well growing up, but the lack of opportunities to play cricket outside of school, when you think about it, there's nothing really. So there's no reason to then. So that I can name you probably 6 football clubs within 20-minute walk from me. I couldn't name you a single cricket club from here.
And it's very peculiar because they're both mass participating sports. 11 people needed on both teams. So there is a bigger barrier to entry. That cricket club is synonymous for being a more middle class sport. It's synonymous for being a lot more expensive with the kit. I don't know how my dad did it with 3 of us playing cricket all at the same time. But
this price of football boots now.
Well, actually, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, mate. You're not wrong. It's gone mental.
Yeah.
So
I think those local sports clubs, they are such an important part of the local community.
Huge.
You know, I met Killian, my boss. I met him through rugby. You know, we played rugby together for probably 6 or 7 years before he offered me a job 8-9 years ago. Yeah, and that has come through purely through sport.
And I promise you,
you know what? I work at Just Accounts, obviously now Kintech, because of football. Because I met Kieran James through football.
Yeah. So
if I hadn't met Kieran, I would have never been working here.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of it, right? Like, I think, especially for grown men who struggle to talk about, issues and their feelings and life. It's not everybody, but some do. Those local clubs are where you put the worlds to rights. For one afternoon on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, you get to forget that you're dad, forget that you're husband, that you're CEO, director, and you get to be an idiot with some of your best pals for an hour, 90 minutes, whatever it may be, 80 minutes in the rugby world. But you get to be an idiot and just enjoy being around your peers. And I think there's something so valuable and so just beautiful about that. And you take that away from people. And it is, the older we get, the less inclined we are to go, my club's closed down, I'm going to go to that one up the road. You'll tend to find that people will just go, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Sweet
And the
idea.
friendships and the bonds that you make in that competitive sporting environment, whether it be cricket, whether it be football, whether it be rugby. You know, I bumped into a pal of mine between Christmas and New Year. Probably not seen him for 5 years. I was walking with the grandkids in the local park. He was walking with his wife. Straight away, massive hug. How are you doing, pal? Etc., etc., etc. And those bonds never go away. We've still got 70, 80-year-old blokes in our rugby club who played together in the 50s and 60s. They actually, what they call themselves? Elite. They put a sponsorship board up in the club. They've called themselves the elite athletes. And these boys are like late 70s, early 80s, late 80s. But they come down, and every Saturday afternoon when the first team are playing, they have lunch in the club. They have a couple of beers, and they reminisce about old times. And they are really, really sound, entertaining blokes.
Yeah, and look, I'll give you an example. Last year, we won our midweek T20 final. And we were surrounded by all the little ones. So we're of an age, we've all played together since we were young or known each other from school, or that there's that sort of connection. And I took a minute, and we were all, celebrating, and I took a minute and I nudged my little brother and I said, that's what's important. And I pointed over, and it was the little ones parading around with the cup. And I went, we've just created a memory that in 10 years' time, they're going to go, I want to play like them.
Yeah.
I want to play like Daddy. I want to play like Uncle Tommy. I want to play like, whoever it may be. And I think that was what was huge for me, is what, our time in sport is short-lived. But what legacy can we leave on, and how can we inspire the rest of the generations coming through to go, well, we're going to be the ones that fly the torch, and we're going to be the ones that keep this going. Because, I always say you're only borrowing the club for a certain amount of times until your legs will allow you to keep moving. And it's what you leave in its place, because somebody left something in place for us to facilitate us playing. So what can we leave for the next generation, which is really
Isaac Newton who said, we're standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah, great. Yeah, there you go.
Brilliant.
So on that,
Amin's favourite now.
You've been a naughty boy in America, my boy. You're on death row.
Yeah.
It's your death row meal. You can have a 3-course meal. Go.
Okay, I have thought about this, because I knew this question might come up. I am going to be really greedy and have 2 desserts, and I'm not a dessert person, which is why
I'm not allowed.
So I'm gonna go oysters to start. I do love an oyster. I'm gonna go lamb chops and Persian rice. We've discussed this, right, so many times, that Persian rice is the best rice out. We've discussed it multiple times. And then for dessert, I'm gonna have to go a lemon tart and a creme brulee. I couldn't pick, so I thought that those are my 2. Those are my 2.
But when you come to Newcastle, if you can get pardoned by the president, I'll take you to my dad's restaurant. I'll give you the best Persian rice in town.
I'll hold you to it.
Hey, Johnny, I've been waiting 9 years.
Have you?
Well, they haven't come up.
Been waiting 9 years. But
I can't bring the restaurant to you.
Just one question, Johnny. How do you eat your oysters? I like a little bit of Tabasco or chili. Yeah. Maybe a bit of lemon.
So a little bit of shallot vinegar, a little bit of Tabasco, and I'm good to go. But lemon and Tabasco also go just as well. So
yeah, brilliant.
It's a good substitute.
Well, Johnny, I've found that a really interesting and entertaining half hour. I feel as though I've got to know you. Obviously, I've heard good things from Amin over the past few months, and obviously, I know Joe really well. I like to think we're friends more than just potential partners in this business, which I think the good thing about this industry, there are a lot of friends in it,
and I think there's been a real shift. There's been a real shift in the last 18 months, where there is some. You go into these, the forums or the events that people put on, and there is some real, what's the word I'm looking for? Some real
camaraderie.
Camaraderie, yeah, great word. But that people helping one another out, and
definitely.
It's a bit more sort of closed off before then. But I think the industry's come a long way in the last 18 months. A long may it continue.
Yeah, and it was good to hear what you guys do in JSL. I think your content, and I follow Dan's content as well. I think it's brilliant. Really topical, informational. It's fantastic, and obviously to learn about the work you're doing as the patron of the charity, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
So really appreciate your time, Jonny. We'll hopefully we'll hopefully be doing a southern road trip soon, and if you can't get to Newcastle, we will bring Newcastle to you.
Is that also the restaurant as well? Will that come to?
We'll bring a little gas stove for me to cook on. Excellent. Okay, brilliant. Thanks for your time,
Thank you so much for having
Jonny.
me. Really
thanks, Amin.
Cheers.
Bye.